Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it.
What up, we back. Realest Podcast 7, man. It's your boy C. Diddy. I'm here on location. We are at the beautiful Wayward Restaurant inside the Canopy Hotel by Hilton down here in the heart of Center City, Philadelphia. I'm here with a very, very special guest. And with that in mind, I want to set him up properly, let y'all know exactly who he is, what he's done. And we're going to get into a super dynamic conversation today around a very untapped market when it comes to minority players on an equity standpoint. So I think that's the lens that we're going to go through this conversation with. But with that in mind, today's guest is a Renaissance man and an innovator in every sense of the word. His life's work has included stints in the entertainment industry and touring, where he worked with the likes of Loud Records, Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man, and Jay-Z in the late 1990s. His more recent ventures feature a foray into the world of philanthropy and wine and spirits. In 2009, as Brooklyn native, took his talents to the Lehigh Valley to establish This Life Forever, incorporated the parent company to his original wine product, Brennea Sparkling Rosé, hopefully I said that right, and the now double gold award-winning Mishka Vodka. Under his leadership, This Life Forever has become the nation's first dual-licensed minority-owned winery and distillery. TRP Nation, let's give it up for another high-level conversation with a father, a husband, board member, CEO, master distiller, master blender, and founder of Mishka Vodka, Russell Fletcher II.
That was great. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you being here today. There's a lot of different people in the room today, and everybody that's here kind of all has like some small formal or informal relationship with one another. And I think that everybody kind of getting in the room today brought everything full circle.
It takes a team.
To where we can have not only this conversation, but build a bridge to what we're trying to do together in the 100%. Future. So I want to start by saying thank you for joining us today. And again, we're here at the Wayward, where this is their resort room. It's beautiful. The vibes is crazy. We got, we got the pop up. We got a lot going on, man. But with that in mind, I think it's important to talk about your partnership with the Wayward, with Hilton, and how that relationship came about. I think that's a fair starting point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this location here, even the Hilton within itself, they have a diversity program, which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
When it comes down to what it is that we're doing. But even outside of that, the staff here, from the bartenders, Lamar, who works part-time with us here, he's a huge supporter. He brought us in, and the general manager here, Chris, he opened the gates for us, and I think that we've shown improved as a brand. So thankful as far as for that. And obviously it gives us the ability to be able to do what we're doing here.
To do cool installations like this.
Right? I mean, you can't lose as far as on that side.
Without a doubt.
We're in the middle of beautiful Philadelphia. Right? While the Eagles take on, against the Cowboys.
Watching the game is great.
Right? I mean, come on. I don't think it's a better vibe. Mishka's here.
Yeah.
We're here as a team.
Indeed. Yeah. When I hear This Life Forever, it does a few things. It speaks to commitment, dedication, and it also lets me know that your foundation is grounded in hip hop culture, because it's a lyric. It's a Jay-Z lyric. I'm stuck in this life forever. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Who am I to change the game?
That's it.
And with that in mind, it kind of lets me know who you are before I even know you. So talk about some of like your past life and being in the entertainment industry, and kind of how that brought you forward to where you are today.
Yeah, I was, This Life Forever was obviously, as you stated, a song, Jay-Z, that for me, it mirrored so much of my upbringing, just because of the things that were around.
Right.
We come from what we come from.
Indeed.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Because, I like it that way, because it gives you the grit and the grind of it.
Indeed.
But I was finishing up a tour stop, and that was a B-side album. That was a B-side song. And with that B-side song, it spoke to me, because of the fact of, from the same from the same place,
Right.
essentially. Just like here in South Philly, I recognize the guys in South Philly have a lot to do, as far as with the culture,
Yeah.
culturally connected with the guys in Brooklyn.
And that's a whole nother song. We're
Right,
going to build it. It's a whole nother Jay-Z song.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, hearing him express that song, stop after stop, I knew right away. I said, that's got to be something that I hold on to.
Right.
Came back, trademarked, got the domain, got everything.
Yeah.
And it's been, that's the soundtrack of my life. Why?
Indeed.
Because it's true.
Right.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Right? Who am I to change the game? I just want to add something to it in order to be able to get ahead and make sure that we can get our piece. So that's where that came from, and that's how that played out.
Right. As I alluded to in the intro, you worn a lot of different hats throughout your life that have taken you to different places and spaces. Is there anything you identify within yourself that made you passionate about these various industries that kind of guided you through your journey?
17, 18 years old, being able to do tour stops with Wu-Tang, being befriended between Method Man, Inspector Deck, and the clan side of it. That was big because, as we grow up and as we grow into it, there's trauma, and to be able to have that type of embrace during that time, it was really, really key for me. So as I looked at music and watched the scene of music, there was that holy trinity for me. There was music, there was fashion, but then there was alcohol.
Yeah.
So as I traveled through the journey, and whether it was working for, the Woo, or working at Loud, or working at Def Jam, or working for Ye, those things, they never changed. So I was always able to find that mix. Right. Because of the fact that those things were already embedded in me. So when it came down to the influence of who I am now, all those things kind of, they all kind of piece together. Right. But I always realized that those were the pillars.
Yeah. Whenever I interview business people, I like to talk about core competencies and structure. As you move through all these different industries, are there any things that you notice that are static or are applicable from industry to industry? Or things that you bring with you as you make your next step into something else?
It's always going to be about meeting the people where they are. So, whether it be music, you could like a certain type of music, but at the same time, because I've owned studios, I've been partners in studios, video, multimedia, it's always going to be about meeting the people where they are. So if you can find that sales side of it and make it just natural, that's going to work all the time. I mean, I've got a 5-year-old at home right now, and I teach him about meeting the people where they are, being able to see eye to eye with the individuals. I think that carries on beyond anything else. You can be a salesperson, but you could be the wrong type of salesperson. You could be selling bad goods. Right? Exactly. But if you're natural within the course of what it is that you're doing, that's going to allow you to be able to exist in any space, no matter what it is, whether it be alcohol, whether it be music, whether it be podcasting. Right. I mean, you've got a winning personality, from our conversation. It's easy to be able to work with a person like you. Why? Because that carries over your personality.
Yeah. And what you kind of alluded to is like a sales technique that people I've been through corporate sales training and all that, but a bunch of different organizations, and they always tell you focus on the whiffle. What's in it for me? And you showing the end user or the customer or the business, whatever it is, what's in it for them, and not just not just speaking from a standpoint of how you're going to benefit or why you should buy this from me. It's like, no, like what's in it for you? What are you going to do once you have this that's going to create economies of scale or a streamline or better overall business position for yourself?
Right. Those are super duper key. Hence, in the middle of, making and creating the formulas for Mishka, I started with the honey vodka. Why? Because I realized that it was a colorful blend, and forming into the Facebook and the Instagram and, Meta and all of these things that were going on. People want to take pictures of their cocktails. They want beautiful cocktails. Yeah. But also at the same time, the end user wants a premium product that's not at an overpriced standpoint, but also has a quality to it that translates to no headaches, translates to no artificial additives, translates to gluten-free. Yeah. So again, it's like you said, it's meeting that person where they are, but also showing them the benefits of actually doing business with you.
Absolutely. I want to skip that question. I'm going to put a pin in that. What was it originally that made you passionate about winemaking and then eventually spirits?
So winemaking was a woosah for me.
Got it.
Just trying to find my way throughout industries, having a large monthly bill from a multimedia company that I was running, dealing with artists, going through the streaming, starting to become a part of life and kind of losing grip of the artists and the direction. I needed winemaking at that time.
Got it.
It was something that I didn't know how to do, so it gave me a challenge.
Got it.
I'm always looking for a challenge because that's where elevation comes from. So the winemaking, it was difficult for me. I bought a small fridge at first. I made a bunch of crappy wine.
Right.
I bought a larger fridge. I made more crappy wine.
How much trial and error is involved in that process till you get to like something that's at least not
Palatable.
even good, just palatable?
Right, just palatable. It took me 2.5 years
Got it.
of just trying to figure it out because it was new to me.
Yeah.
So with things being new to you, you know, you want to have that aggression to be able to get it done. But once I hit, it became just like a part of that lockstep in that, you know, I understood the nuance of it.
Got it.
At that point.
So at the time when you're starting, you're still running the multimedia company. You're experiencing industry challenges. You're dealing with piracy and all of this different stuff that basically, essentially, like the music business hit an iceberg at a point.
Yes, it did.
And a lot of people, were just so stuck in their ways. They thought this is just going to fix it. It's going to right size itself. It's going to rebound.
And it'll be out.
Instead of looking for innovation points to fix what was right in front of them.
Right. I had 15 CD burners that were cranking out nonstop.
Yeah.
In a little office, cranking out nonstop, and then streaming hit. And it was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. What do you mean by you don't need these CDs?
Right. We're just gonna put everything in this little thing, this little box.
So what are you doing? It was a blow to my ego, but also at the same time, looking at the industry change and look, it's a blessing. The artists, they have more control. They should. They're the artists. But it also left a lot of us in a bad space.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what to do. Okay, now I just became a guy managing a bunch of different things. But now I'm basically just owning a studio. And I'm trying to give people direction who might not want direction because they have full control.
Indeed.
So it kind of left, me and even my whole team in kind of a place of limbo.
Yeah.
So I had to make the wine work.
Right.
Because if not, I wouldn't be able to reach my goals.
How hard was it for you to finally just, shutter the doors and just say, this is a wrap, it's over, like for the multimedia company?
That was difficult. I'm big on employment. I love the ability to be able to assist with a person being able to move their own lives forward.
Indeed.
That's a part of me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was just about to get married. I had found the woman that I wanted, to marry.
Yeah.
And I had to make a decision. It was either continue to go down to the office with the studio and the multimedia setup and deal with the 2-3 o'clock in the morning, that I'm leaving there.
Yeah.
Or get up in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock and get to the winemaking or get to the process.
Yeah.
And then once I figured out how to make it palatable, and then once I figured out that I had something, and that something was something that was consumable consistently,
Right.
that became my passion.
Got it. In 2010, This Life Forever became the first dual licensed, minority-owned winery and distillery in the United States.
Yes.
Walk me through that accomplishment from idea to execution.
So the idea, I was gung-ho as far as about the wine. My mom slowed me down
Got it.
and said, hey, you need to get a handle on this. You
Going
can't-
90 miles an
Right,
hour.
you're going 90 miles an hour, and selling wine out of the back of your Mercedes. It's not going to work for long.
Yeah.
So thankfully, she was able to rein me in.
Got it.
And my wife on the other end, she was able to help rein me in also, but help also boost it because of the fact that she was my original tasting person.
Got it.
So while my mom had my back on the back end of making sure that, that I had a solid ground, my wife and I and my team, who I converted from the multimedia standpoint of it.
Got it.
I put them back on and we
Awesome.
became the street team.
Yeah.
So that worked in that way.
Yeah. Are you still the only minority-owned winery distillery in 2023, or has there been some more penetration by other people so far?
There has been good, wholesome penetration. I'm happy that I'm not the only.
Okay, good.
So yeah, the field is opening up.
Got it.
But we're less than 1% to 2%.
Of the whole industry, of the whole pie.
industry. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges do you see of getting more people of color involved in the spirits business on an executive, management, and ownership level?
So we'll break that apart a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So there's 3 levels as I look at it, right? There's the brand owner, there's the brand owner manufacturer, and then there's the executive, right? With the big boys, right?
Got it.
We've got great coverage on the executive side. You know, you've got a gentleman like at Diageo, Malcolm Ellis. This guy's go hard as far as when it comes down to black founders. They're learning the black manufacturer side of it.
Got it.
But the brand owners from the founder side, they're coming in a plethora, thankfully.
Got it.
But we're not really heavily on the manufacturing side.
Got it.
And that's where we stand our ground. Currently, we're not only producing for ourselves, but we've got contracts that are for companies that aren't, black-owned companies.
Yeah.
Because of the quality that we produce.
Right.
And that's the blessing of it. So when you break those tiers apart, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we're a forerunner within that work. That's why it's important that, as you mentioned, double gold. It's, when you look at, black founders, there's no other double gold black-owned spirits company.
Got it.
So we want to be at the forefront of that. And we don't want it to be a selfish space. We love if more people win accolades because it makes us stronger in the industry.
Indeed.
So that's kind of where the industry sits.
On this banner that we have here for the product, you got a couple silvers, you got a gold, then you got the double gold. How dedicated are you and were you through that process of refining this product from where it's like you place again, place a little bit better, to now you're at the pinnacle in terms of rating when it comes to industry standard?
Right. So, give you a little backstory about the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. San Francisco World Spirits Competition is the oldest spirits competition in the world, right? The first, right?
Yeah.
They're the gold standard. It's a blind tasting. You have sommeliers and top industry folks.
Right.
Everything's poured into a glass and passed around. No labels on the bottles. It's not a pay-to-play type of thing. And if it is, I haven't been invited.
Your product is judged on its own merit.
It's on its own merit, thankfully, right? Because we don't get enough of that fair shake at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So first entry, which I don't think is up there, 2016 was the first entry.
Got it.
Paid for the entry. It's roughly about, I think it's $500 at the time per entry. Then there's a cost for getting it there and all that type of stuff. Roughly about $1,000 per entry. We didn't win anything.
Got it.
It was palatable, but it didn't reach their standard. Comfortable. 2017, needed to be able to get to that. Resubmitted the honey vodka, trained it a little bit better, sent out a bunch of samples. Took a lot. Got back some good reviews.
Right.
We struck silver. 2018, a little different. Struck silver again. I think that they were still trying to figure out the whole natural aspect of it because we're no preservatives. There's no, there's no active sugars. There's nothing. It's all natural honey vodka, corn base. Year after year, I realized that I had to get better because if these people are the gold standard and they're saying, hey, you got more work to do, I can feel however I want to feel.
Right.
But they're the gold standard.
Yeah, the standard is the standard.
The standard is the standard.
It's been there long before you. It's going to be here after you.
And if you are a person who wants to move the marker, to be able to satisfy yourself, you'll always be a loser in my eyes. It's just reality. Right? I mean, come on. They don't in football. They don't move the marker. Hey, you know what? He kind of. No,
you was working real hard. You almost got there. I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
Doesn't work that way.
That's a whole another conversation. Participation trophies.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in this, there's no participation medals at all. So the diligence of working at that and sending out so many samples and getting bartenders to taste the product, showing off the mixability, to be able to hit in 2018, I think it was, in 2018, being able to hit gold. We felt good about that.
Yeah.
But I took some time off. I took a year or so off. because I knew that wasn't it.
Right.
I changed a bunch of things about the product. I changed the different contents, the formulation of it, keeping the same core of it.
Yeah.
But then hitting 2021 and being double gold, I mean, that was it.
The time off was needed, and it gave you that refreshing point of, let me take a fresh set of eyes, fresh set of taste buds at this, and reapproach this formula, and then now strike double gold.
Right, now we're here.
Yeah.
So we went from gold to double gold. So
Right.
very proud of us, just from a team standpoint.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. If we can get into specifics, because you talked about the manufacturing level kind of being where like the ultra like kind of big boys sort of play, where it's like where you're manufacturing your own product, soup to nuts, and going to market.
Right.
What type of startup capital would someone need to establish their own distillery manufacturing facility? And second part to that question, is the financial part the biggest barrier to entry?
Very good question. And I was going to jump in and begin to answer, but then you had the second part, which is key. So what I'll do is I'll put the B first.
Got it.
Okay. You can go out, you can go and get a distillery license, right?
Yeah.
And within getting a distillery license, nothing's promised. I know guys who spend $2.5, $3 million on distilleries.
Oh, wow.
All right? But the product's not good. After you make it all pretty and you do the tours and all that type of stuff, if the juice doesn't sustain, then you've got an issue. It's just a fact.
Right.
So market penetration is super duper key. Having that route to market is super duper key. So you can go and open up a distillery for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000.
Got it.
Without an issue. But now you either need to have a green thumb in order to be able to produce, or you're going to go out and go get someone to produce for you.
Got it. Another
cost. So I would say from a startup standpoint of it, you're going to need at least about 1.2, 1.5.
That's just getting in the door.
That's just getting in the door. Yeah. But now you got to go with forming a brand, and that's where, again, my background, like, it works.
Yeah.
You know, our labels are designed by Monsieur Mikey, who's a designer. He's a clothing designer. Mm-hmm. That's why the details for the bear top hat, you know, the bear, the symbol, the shield, all the way down to the bottle being a super flint so you can see the actual liquid.
Right.
Those are marketing tools.
Exactly.
So the A and B portion of it is you could come in with $1 million, but you'll probably spend another $1.5 million.
Just trying to get into market, or just trying to get the product right?
Just trying to get the product right.
Right. Before you even get to distribution channels. Before you even get to the
distribution, because distribution is a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
And it's uncontrollable because that's not us. We don't own distribution.
Right.
Naturally. You know, we're talking prohibition. Mm-hmm. Those lines have been
You're talking about something that predates all of us.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So, you know, that's what I tell people. Look, I tell people all the time, you should be aggressive if you want to be in the space. But understand, there's a possibility you'll lose your shirt.
Right.
I'll give you a point. Having the winery license and then getting over to the distillery license, the state of Pennsylvania it was a nuance for the state of Pennsylvania. Mm. So the fine print of reading that you had to shut down your wine operations while you're getting and adding on your distillery license. Mm-hmm. That was a 9-month break.
Right.
We were already selling our primary product, which was Brunei.
Right.
And it was working.
And you had to pause
that.
You had
to shut it down.
In order to get the approval.
In order to get the approval.
Yeah, that's crazy. And not a lot of people can sustain a pause like that.
So when you say, you know, how much to get in the game, I mean, that 9 months was roughly about a $350,000 hit.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Right. Yeah, shit. I had to think about it, like, yeah. Because, I mean, not a lot, at this point, it's like, you know, when you talk about, you know, peer-to-peer, person-to-person, not a lot of people a person can sustain. Losing their job today, don't know if they're going to work again for, say, 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
So on a business standpoint, you extrapolate that out where you're talking about being responsible for 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 people and being able to have to sustain the operation and their standard of living. They get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, whatever it is. for 9 months while you basically place a bet
or whether you're going to get it or whether you're not.
On this other thing that may not even happen. Yeah. That takes a lot of chutzpah, a lot of balls to be able to even do something like that, because you bet on yourself that essentially I've done so much right through the process that this is going to happen.
This is going to happen. This will work.
Yeah.
And it will be great.
Something that you touched on briefly that I do want to dig into is corporate governance and legal scrutiny, because it's all different from state to state. And a lot of people don't understand when you're talking about business, especially in the state of Pennsylvania, you're dealing with a special set of rubrics when it comes to the processes and paperwork and who you got to talk to and all of that, because it's a commonwealth. 100%. So it makes everything different. So what type of corporate governance and legal scrutiny do you face bringing a product like Mishka to market?
So here's the greatest part and I always know what people speak about as far as when it comes down to the state of Pennsylvania. If you're not in the state of Pennsylvania, it's the worst state for you, quote unquote. But if you're in the state of Pennsylvania, which we produce here in the state of Pennsylvania, it gives us an ultimate advantage. That ultimate advantage is that I can drive to Harrisburg. I can request a meeting. Yeah. It might take some time to get the meeting on the board, but that's there for us in every way. The state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, owns 650 stores. They're the second largest wholesale buyer of alcohol in the nation, behind Costco.
Goodness gracious.
And used to be the first. Right. So when you look at it, to be able to have the relationship value with the Commonwealth and being able to connect from the Commonwealth side of it, it works in every single way for us. Because as long as we can continue to grow the product, like here in Philadelphia, like out in Erie, like in Lehigh Valley where we produce that gives us a good in, because now we can attack it right there at the root of it. We can get up every single day and be able to attack that. Push in the stores, tastings in the stores. So the corporate governance side of it is, once you get in the door, they're going to give you the route to it, because they don't want something sitting stale on the shelf. So they want to work with you.
Exactly.
Right? So it's been a benefit for us.
Awesome. I'll tell you a quick story if I can. I have a friend who works for another spirits company. I won't say their name because today is all about Mishka and Russell Fletcher. So we're not going to say who, but essentially I'm going to give you a scenario about what it's like to be on the outside in trying to get something done in Pennsylvania on a spirits level. So I got a friend of mine, he's a market director for a large spirits company or whatever, international company headquartered in Europe. And they have a product that exists only in certain outlying markets that you can't get historically in the United States. So because of different market challenges, them going up against, tequila, losing market segmentation and stuff, they go to big headquarters over in Europe and say, hey, you got to take the handcuffs off. We need y'all to unleash this product that you normally only can get in these certain markets in the United States. That's what's going to give us a leg up. They go back and forth, days, months, and all of that. They finally say, you know what? We're going to sign off on this. We're going to come to market. They come to market. Every territory that they wanted to do it in gets approved except Pennsylvania.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
And essentially, they have this winning product that kills, that people pay 2, 3, 4x for. That
some people even smuggle it back.
You know where I'm going with this. And they can't even basically get approval to sell it because of our standard and our stipulation for how the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and our wine and spirits directory reacted to the product itself and saying this doesn't meet our shelving guidelines for us to be able to even do this. We don't care what Florida and New York and all these in Ohio did. It has nothing to do with us. The rules are the rules.
That's a fact. But you want to know one thing that's great as far as about that product? It's a great product. Yeah. But you know what is actually better than that product? Mishka honey vodka. Right. so even if you're not a vodka drinker, you notice there's a similarity in the color.
Indeed.
Right? There's a smoothness to it. Yeah. So I suggest I suggest whichever camera.
Hey, everybody who couldn't get
Right, you should try Mishka Honey Vodka. It will soothe your palate. I guarantee you that.
as a CEO and a leader of business and industry, how do you balance out the premium product and literally knowing, as the master blender, master distiller, what's in it? You know, soup to nuts, what's
100%.
in it, and it being a truly premium product, not just you saying it,
Right.
versus how you price said product when it goes to shelves for consumer purchase.
So, I mean, from the quality of it and the input ingredients wise, we only want to use the best. We want the water. We don't want to do, we don't want to use city water. We want to be able to get the water in. We want to truck the water in ourselves. We'd rather do a refill on it. We want a certain pH to the water. And I have a certain palate.
Got it.
From a consumer aspect of it, I always think about myself as a consumer. The inspiration to Mishka Honey Vodka was Grand Marnier. I used to be a big Grand Marnier rosé guy.
Right.
That was a very long time ago, but those were my things. And when it comes down to a price point, I feel like domestically, American-wise, we owe transparency in pricing. Don't throw $3, $4, $5 on it unnecessarily, because one of the things that's killing our world is greed.
Right.
Right? So if I know that if I can get a deal on something, glass or labels or whatever it is, I'm going to build that into the price model. And then I want to look at the guys who imports. And, you want to break down a product and say, okay, well, we want to be able to give the people a better offer than that. But also at the same time, we want the proprietor to be able to make their money also.
Indeed.
So we want it to be a quality product on your shelf at home, your home bar. We want it to have the mixability that it needs to. Therefore, the quality ingredients are there. But we also want to make sure that we're meeting you, the customer.
Yeah.
We want to meet the customer at a price point. This is a great value for a 1 liter. This is a great value for a 375.
Right.
This actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's, you look at the market, you look at what's out there, and then, you want to be able to play within the price point that makes sense for a person as a consumer.
Yeah. Because you don't want to give, the balance that you kind of got to do is you don't want to give away too much value for not enough money. And then you also don't want to overprice the premiumness of it to where you almost like price yourself out of the segment. And then that's like the delicate dance that you do up and down like the segment.
Right. Like, take for instance, this product's on the shelf right now, I want to say $25. These are the flavors. They're on for $31.99. Difference is the flavors take a whole lot more, and they're going to save you on your cranberry juice, right, which spoils. They're going to save you on your simple syrups, right? So now instead of doing a 5-part cocktail, and you got a 3-part cocktail. Right. So now the proprietor saving money, the at-home person is losing some of that sugar. Right. Less ingredients to have in your fridge.
Because this is a fully organic product, right?
Fully, all natural. There's no tampering with it.
Got it.
But why add a $31.99 price point to this product when I know that we can put it out there for $25 at a liter? Right. Why do that?
Yeah.
That's greed.
Yeah.
We don't have to participate in that. We can give you something of great value that's double gold. Right. And it's going to knock the socks off.
Indeed. So basically, these products here essentially fall into like the ready to drink or ready to serve category of product that is basically kind of my research is leading vodka's, stability through the whole industry.
100%. And I mean, we've got 2 more variants that are coming in the Mishka setup. And with those next year also, we'll be doing the RTDs, the ready to drink, which will then translate over. Now it just makes it super duper easy for you. But still keeping the same formulation. We still want to make sure that we're all natural. We still want to make sure that you don't have a hangover due to the compounded sugars.
Indeed.
We don't want that. Right.
According to Beverage Information and Insights Group, vodka remained a robust spirits category, 80.6 million 9-liter cases sold in 2022. Titos seems to be the anomaly in the industry. Everybody else's business shrunk a little bit. They're up almost 5.5% at 11.6 million cases, which I hear that and I'm just like,
it's a lot of cases.
It's a lot of cases. Rounding out the top 3, Smirnoff at 8.6, they were down 1.8%. New Amsterdam 5.8 million, they shrunk 3.7%. With so much opportunity and upside, what type of aggressive strategy and or marketing will it take for Mishka to crack the top 10 and then eventually the top 3?
So our strategy is liquid to lips. We need to be able to continue, and we're going to continue to get liquid to lips. That's whether it be liquid to lips at a corporate level, liquid to lips at a party level, liquid to lips at a walking in, a salesperson walking in. Try the product. When you have a superior product, you don't have to oversell.
Got it.
So if we can continue to show off the mixability, the ease of use,
Yeah.
and the quality of the product by going liquid to lips, I think in any way you're gonna present and you can hit all the high notes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the consumer to continue to pour.
Got it.
So knowing or an aggressive marketing strategy, hence doing interviews like this and being able to get in front of people and letting them know that it's an option, I think that mixing that all in, I think that it makes us an obvious choice.
Indeed. What is it that, from like an ingredient or health-based standpoint, that makes Mishka different from its competitors? We talked about, being organic, the process and everything like that. What is it that makes it, in your eyes, as the founder and all these other hats that you wear for the company, a superior product to what else is out there?
So I learned something in alcohol, right, a long time ago, and we won't name any brands. But when you come with flavors, right, there's a process, right? And it's a chemistry process,
Yes.
right? It's 70% alcohol. It's 30% all the other stuff to be able to make it hit the nose properly, to be able to make it finish in the palate, to trick the palate via the nose.
Not be harsh, not
be harsh, add smoothness to it, but still all synthetic.
Got it.
There's nothing synthetic about Mishka. There's honey in there.
Right.
There's cranberry in here. And I'm not talking about cranberry juice. It's not a mix of cranberry juice.
Actual cranberry.
There's actual cranberry in there. So the quality on that side, if anybody looks it up, cranberry prices are spiking over the last 16 to 18 months.
Yeah.
We're paying more for cranberry. The price hasn't gone up.
Your price is static throughout that.
Still.
Yeah.
Pandemic, everybody raised their prices. We stayed where we were.
Yeah.
Because we'll find ways to be able to meet the consumer there, because we have to be conscious of what we're going through, recessions and inflation and everything else.
Yeah.
But we know that we still have to win people at the bars.
Absolutely. How many states is Mishka in currently?
So currently we're in Pennsylvania, obviously, Georgia, Texas, just registered and accepted in Florida. By Q1 next year, we'll be in Delaware, Maryland, along with New Jersey.
Awesome. We touched on a double goal, and I kind of want to go back to that a little bit. Winning that award, what does it do for the brand itself from a prestige, presence, and like a sales standpoint? And I kind of want to maybe make a comparison. Is it almost like equivalent to like when an artist wins a Grammy and then they get like a boost in their sales
100%.
for like 4 to 8 weeks?
100%. 100%, because when you walk into, so we're Total Wines approved, right? Total Wines, everybody knows is one.
Everybody knows Total
right?
Wines.
Everybody knows Total Wines, right? Okay. For us to do Total Wines, they wanted to know, where's that printed at?
Yeah.
Because everybody says, oh, I have this.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Herm Doce, says success comes with receipts. Like, you have to be able to substantiate what you're saying.
It's true. Like, we wouldn't put it everywhere if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that's where you want to be at as a spirits maker. You want a double goal.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you say, oh, accolades, oh, that doesn't mean anything.
No, it means something.
I mean, if it didn't mean anything, then they wouldn't have them.
Yeah, we just do away with the system.
Come on, just willy-nilly. Everybody just do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Everybody's at the gold standard. It's not true.
Right.
The double gold definitely, it gives you a place in history, and it gives you a place in the history of spirits, and it allows people to say, okay, you know what, I want to try that, because it's got to be quality.
Yeah.
And then again, they taste the product, And that's your sell point.
I just thought about something. I'm very in tuned and interested in like just the fashion industry on the whole. And a lot of times people like Dame Dash kind of like exposes a lot of the fallacies in the fashion industry. And when you hear these big huge numbers, we did 180 million at retail, 400 million at retail, but he breaks it down to like the actual cost and the actual money that a brand takes home. With that in mind, when it comes to like liquor, do you have to pay for like product placement, shelving, stuff like that in order to basically create more visibility for your brand within the stores that you're in, or is that just kind of organically decided by the retailer?
It's a business. They've got a business to run. Like, again, you don't see certain stores, but you see these huge liquor warehouses, right? There's not a Spoon store out there, right? At least I don't know of one, right? But everybody uses a Spoon.
I've never been to one.
No, I've never been to a Spoon store. But there are liquor warehouses, right?
Yeah.
It's a business. You're going to pay one way or three others.
Got it.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to pay in some way.
As a CEO and founder, how do you feel about celebrity endorsement of spirits brands? And does it have an actual effect on the bottom line of the business? Or is it just something that just, looks cool, you run print ads, billboards, whatever. Have you seen it to where there's a direct correlation to money on the books for a business when they partner with like celebrities and stuff?
I mean, we always looked at that as a double-edged sword.
Okay. That's an honest answer. I like that answer.
We always looked at that as a double-edged sword because you could see the spike, you could see the boost, but then it also could be that car crash or that indecent exposure charge.
Could be the beginning of the end as opposed to the beginning of a trend.
Right. So, I mean, you take, for instance, something like George Clooney, right? George Clooney jumped in. He had a very valuable partner who had the retail side locked in.
Got it.
That was the perfect mix. But then you don't find the perfect mixes. And those unperfect mixes, those are the ones that sink the ship. So I feel like there's a way to be able to balance it depending on what you want to do with the company.
Got it.
If you're looking for a quick pop and then you want to sell the company off, similar to a Casamigos, that's the way to go. But if you're going for longevity, I think you have to be able to hunker down on something and really be able to hold tight to something.
Got it.
And that's been our right.
Yeah.
Our right has been more so to tell a true story, similar to Titos.
Got it.
Told a true story.
Made in America, organic product.
Gravitated toward
Double
the people.
gold winner.
It's quality. This is what it is. This is easy to digest. This makes sense. Why? Because you're meeting the people where they are.
Right.
We're everyday people. And, we've fashioned ourselves on that route.
Yeah.
Which has led to, I guess, me being more so the spokesperson for the product.
Got it. I think at this point I've extrapolated every detail of the spirits business from soup to nuts, Adi. So I want to talk to you about something else. Talk to me about the Start Engine campaign. We talked about it a little bit off air, off camera. Let's talk about the Start Engine campaign and what This Life Forever is looking to accomplish by basically allowing people to privately invest into the company.
So people like you and I, right? Walking around, we're consumers.
Yes.
Right? But we don't get those emails, text messages, letter in the mail. When a spirits company is about to go, did you get the Casamigos email?
I did not.
You didn't get that? You didn't get the text either,
no.
right?
I didn't get the Don Julio one either.
You didn't get that one either, right? Right. So we're stuck as consumers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? Good products, great products, create great memories, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like, where's our skin in the game?
Right.
So for me, I looked at it in the beginning of the journey. It was about, for me, okay, give it to the people in some way.
Yeah.
Right? Grow it, be able to have it as a point of quality, and then being able to give it to the people. So going to Start Engine, we jumped in with Start Engine roughly about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I wanted to just watch it. I wanted to watch them as a platform. They were newly doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
We were growing as a company, fresh out of the pandemic, fresh out of our hand sanitizer capitalization and being able to give it to the people and becoming a sweetheart of America's story in the Northeast and then traveling out. I knew that we had something that the people would gravitate to, but the story would have to be told properly. And I knew that venture capitalists, the big players, that they wouldn't be our refuge. I wanted to be able to, again, give it to the people, give people an opportunity.
Yeah.
So when I seen Start Engine and during Obama, 2008, he signed in, or 2009, he signed in the Reg CF option to raise money through the SEC.
Oh.
Like Start Engine is an SEC-backed company. They're grounded, in SEC.
More corporate governance.
There's more corporate governance to it. So to take it that route and not have a bunch of these one-on-one conversations with a bunch of people who might want to give some money because they feel like, oh, this could possibly hit. I'd rather we lay it all out and people to be able to make the choice. So within our Start Engine campaign, a person was laughing the other day and he said, well, dude, you start off at $300, you're getting 300 shares of your company. He said, but if you look at the package, you're giving people $250 worth of stuff. So, where are you winning at? I'm winning because of the fact that I have another individual who's passionate because they're passionate about what we're doing.
Right.
And they become our cheerleader. They become the next person to bring Mishka to the party.
Yeah, they're incentivized because they're
got skin in the
on the
game.
ground level, yeah.
What's better than that?
Right.
I don't think anything's better than that.
No, I don't think so either. No, that's a great way to look at it. In a perfect world scenario, what do the next 5 and 10 years look like for Mishka to you?
So right now, our goal is to those states that I mentioned. We need to be able to own 10% of that market, right? Which is fair.
Yes.
Pennsylvania, $410 million last year in vodka sales, combination of unflavored and flavored vodka. Mm-hmm. We have enough and we have capabilities in order to be able to own 10% of that market.
And you have new product coming to market
and we
also.
have new variants that are coming to the market.
Yeah.
So our co-packing initiatives, we've got a new facility that's being built. That's an expansion, right?
Amazing.
It's going to 5x our abilities and capabilities. We've got another facility in Western Pennsylvania in Erie with a new partner that we have, right? GDIC, Greater Erie Economic Development Corporation, right? Great relationship with those guys.
Right.
We're about to close on a building in Erie. That building is going to feed the Midwest all the way down into Pittsburgh and all the way down into Louisiana. So now that bookends the state.
Right.
But it also gives us other states to be able to launch into, along with Canada across the Great Lake,
Right. Yeah.
So in a perfect world for us is the 8 markets that we're in, 8 to 10 markets that we're in, we want 10% of those markets.
Right.
People could do the math.
Yeah.
It's
substantial. Substantial. I'm also hearing big things about an alkaline water facility that you have. Talk to me about that business, what it looks like, and how it even came about.
So Mishka has 2 meanings, right? It can be taken in 2 different ways. Right?
Got it.
It can either mean in Eastern Europe, it can mean small bear, right? Which is what we coined it after, right? But then also at the same time, in Hinduism, it means gift from God, right? So a companion of ours was in Georgia, where we have distribution, and he was introducing the product to people. And the conversation ended up stringing along, and the introduction to the facility with our partner, it came about. Water is essential.
Absolutely.
Water is essential.
Drinking water right now?
Right. Water is essential to vodka making.
Yes.
Right. In some ways, I drink water too when I'm drinking vodka.
Indeed.
Right? It's okay.
You talked about water being a key ingredient to the product and getting the right water to produce it.
Right water. So that came about, and because we have these relationships with Walmart, Target, Walgreens, you name them, big box stores, through our relationships via our team, our home team, we're able to place products. So we looked at it not only as an opportunity to be able to uplift that business owner because we have those relationships, but we also looked at it as an opportunity for us to continue to grow our base as This Life Forever.
Right. I think I've exhausted you in questions today. you've done a phenomenal job of answering, extrapolating information, being specific, everything. So with that in mind, is there anything else that we missed that you feel like is beneficial for people to know, whether it be something that's industry specific or a broader point, anything that we might have just unintentionally jumped over, or something we need to go back to give some more context to?
I think one of the bigger things is even tagging on to the Start Engine piece about giving it back to the people. Little fact that some people might know. Pandemic hit, liquor stores shut down, right? We put 5 cars on the road to deliver our product. Still wasn't making the money that we were making, being able to deliver it to restaurants and and also the stores selling the product. So we pivoted over to hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer led us to our relationship with the NMSDC, EMSDC, and then put us in place with Comcast, the United States Postal Service. We delivered more hand sanitizer than any distillery, probably in the Northeast.
That's amazing.
We donated so much, like from meals to frontline employees. We donated hand sanitizer. And that opened up the door for our philanthropy. So tying into the Start Engine campaign, it is still about giving it to the people. And we did that even with hand sanitizer.
Right.
So now we continue to do that. My partners, we're big on community. We try to make sure that our initiatives always have something tied into what are we giving back. So just recently, a couple of days ago, so let me rewind. So my son was born and he spent 5 or 6 days in the NICU, right? Child ICU, right? Newborn ICU. And that was at our home hospital in Lehigh Valley, right? Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Right.
So that was 5 years ago. Now let's fast forward, all the community work, all of our donations, how we work. Now I sit on the philanthropy board for our Children's Hospital Cancer Center.
That's amazing.
Right? We have a partnership with CHOP down here in Philly. They're our strongest partner. I sit on that board. We just, after 6 months worth of compliance, corporate governance.
Corporate governance. Right? We might have to call this episode Corporate Governance with Russell.
We now have a fully formed partnership that's robust between LVHN, right, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and This Life Forever, based on Mishka. The trade-off is cocktails, which restaurants get the restaurants included, give them a spotlight, give them a play, having the hospital be a partner in that, and then we donate money based on that, on our raise.
That's amazing.
For me, that's community.
Yes.
Right? I sit on the board of Greater Lehigh Chamber of Commerce, right? 5th largest in the nation. We gave out more money to small businesses throughout the pandemic to be able to keep them afloat. Philanthropy again, right?
Yeah.
Staying rooted in the community. Rising Tide is a CDFI, a next portion lender outside of the big banks for small business owners. Like when I started, I couldn't get a loan, right? I had to bootstrap it my own money.
Right.
Again, that's about the give back. So the Start Engine piece and tying that in to what we do in the community, what my partners have done in the community in Philadelphia and just nationwide. I think that those things are just really, really big. And I as we are a spirits company, we are really a lifestyle company that really just makes great spirits, award-winning spirits.
Right.
So I always want people to understand that from the This Life Forever standpoint of it. So even when you invest in Start Engine, it's so robust. But on the front side of it, you're thinking, okay, this is just an alcohol. It's just a spirits company. But it's not. It's a whole lot more.
Right. It's multi-pronged.
Multi-pronged.
How can people get in contact with you, the company? Where can they find the product in PA and other states? Give them all of that information and how they can, most importantly, invest on Start Engine.
Well, the biggest thing is here in Pennsylvania, we are in the wine and spirit stores. You can catch us online, Fine Wine and Good Spirits. You can catch us at our own website, www.mishkapremiumvodka.com, thislifeforever.com, or drinkmishka.com. And then for Start Engine, You can go to startengine.com/Mishka. And it's
Very
just
simple,
that
easy to find.
Yeah. And then obviously we're on Google. Leave a Google review.
Indeed.
Try the product.
December 17th, we're doing our holiday hangover event. Mishka Vodka is coming on as a sponsor. We will have product. We'll have hopefully all 3 of these there available for y'all, to be able to, taste, get familiar with, and add, more importantly, add into your routine of spirits that you have while, you're out and about, when you're at home or whatever, mixing yourself up something to drink. We want y'all to add this because this is a product that I believe in. I actually probably should have led with this. I'm very familiar with the product and the brand. They were a big supporter, and we did a lot of point of sale, like installation stuff at nightclubs that I was working at back in 2011, 2012, 2013, up to probably about 2016 or 17. We constantly had those promos and stuff like that. And it was, it was always very tasteful, very well done. And this is kind of like a full circle moment for me 100%. To be able to sit down with the CEO, the founder, of this company that, I was already, that was supporting me and I was supporting, kind of in a direct way. Right. So this has been phenomenal. I appreciate your time today, sir.
You kidding me?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Y'all can find this episode on our website, officialtrp.com. Also, Revolt Podcast Network. I don't know when this is coming out, but when it's out, it'll be out before the show. With that in mind, man, make sure y'all, subscribe to All Things TRP. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/officialtrp. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, share this content so that everybody can see it. This is a big moment for us, a big moment for the Mishka brand. And we are happy to be able to bring y'all this very specific dialed in conversation around 100%. All things business, spirits, alkaline water, philanthropy, all of this great stuff that this amazing gentleman has going on, man. So I'm signing off. It's your boy C. Diddy.
Russell Fletcher, thank you.